This is the new phase of German long-distance rail travel. Meet the ICE 4. Loved to be criticized by locals, this modern high-speed train with its 137 units connects Germany from north to south to east to west, and even creeps into some of its neighboring countries. So join me for a trip on this newcomer as we check out if these trains are really up to par on a journey from Leipzig to the German capital Berlin. Hallo und schönen Tag von Leipzig Hauptbahnhof. Today the plan is to catch one of Deutsche Bahn's ICE services up to Berlin, so let's go catch a train. Opened back in 1915, Leipzig has a stunning main station building, as you'd expect from any major German city with a station from those times. And it's even prettier on the inside, so let's head in. I was traveling in late November, so the station was also featuring plenty of Christmas lights. I mean, just look at this chandelier thing in the center. That is one thing that's great about the German rail network. There are so many historic grand railway stations like the one here in Leipzig that just remind you of the importance of the railways. Following with the times, you'll of course find modern fast food outlets inside the station. As well as plenty of other shops, bakeries, food outlets, and just about everything you could need before a train journey. But let's head up the stairs towards the platforms. And the grand train shed here is just as stunning as the rest of the station. And after a quick consulting session with the departure board, let's head to the platforms. Access is straightforward, there's no ticket gates or anything like that at major German railway stations, so you can simply just walk onto the platform. Parked next to our platform is another relatively new train to the Deutsche Bahn long-distance fleet. These trains does also not have a great reputation with the German rail travelers, as the train is based on a design of a regional train platform with slightly upgraded seats and a different livery. Maybe that's something to go check out in the future. But for now, we'll stick to our 15:16 departure bound for Berlin-Gesundbrunnen, which today is running about 10 minutes late. Considering the train I took to Leipzig, as well as another one earlier in the day were about 30 minutes late, that makes 10 minutes seems like nothing. Do take a moment to walk all the way to the end of the platforms and have a look at the station building. And that also sets us up perfectly to watch our train arrive in from Zürich Hauptbahnhof. Our variation of the IC4 is known as the XXL ICE, with no fewer than 13 wagons. This makes it the longest ICE train type in the Deutsche Bahn fleet at 374 meters. But more on the variations a bit later in the video. Built mostly by Siemens, this variation of the ICE4 can reach speeds of up to 265 km per hour. Because of the delay, we'll be departing very soon, so let's waste no time in getting on board. I'm traveling first class today and have a seat reservation here in carriage number 14. And I have to say, my first impressions are pretty good. The train looks clean, modern and spacious. And here we are at my seat, number 71. The excellent bright and clear onboard displays keep us informed about the delay and journey information. In the end, we ended up departing at 15:28, running about 12 minutes behind schedule. The first thing I noticed about these trains are just how quiet they are. I mean, there was barely any acceleration sound. That's how good modern electric high-speed trains have gotten. And now that we have departed Leipzig, let's take a closer look at the route we'll be traveling along today. We are catching ICE 76, which started its journey in Zürich many hours ago. We'll be joining here in Leipzig and then continue to Berlin Hauptbahnhof, stopping at Lutherstadt-Wittenberg, Berlin Südkreuz before Hauptbahnhof. The train then continues further to Gesundbrunnen. The trip from Leipzig to Berlin Hauptbahnhof is 168 kilometers and is scheduled to take 1 hour and 16 minutes. This gives the train an average speed of 132 kilometers per hour. One of the main criticisms of the ICE4 is that the seats aren't as comfortable as the older trains they are replacing. So let's have a look at it, shall we? I personally think these look quite comfortable. You'll find a footrest, as well as a storage net, a large tray table that seems sturdy enough to support a laptop. There's a power outlet, as well as a movable armrest with leather padding. A nice plush pillow for your head, as well as a soft but supportive base. So I personally think these seats are pretty good. You'll also find a coat hook, as well as the smallest bin I've ever seen on a train. As mentioned, the ICE4 comes in a few different variants, with 3 main ones being offered. The 13 carriage long K4S variant with a top speed of 265 km per hour, which is the one we are on. 50 trains are built in total. The 12 car K3S variant, same top speed and also 50 trains built. And finally, the 7-car K1N and K1S, which has a slightly lower top speed of 250 km per hour with 37 trains built. So let's go and see what Deutsche Bahn uses the interior for on this long train. As you can see, there are plenty of displays throughout the train showing journey information. You'll also find luggage racks, with plenty of space for large suitcases. First class is laid out in an expected 1+2 layout, with mostly airline style seating, but some bays of 4. In the vestibules is where you'll find the toilets. And you know no video is complete without a toilet review. The door is easily locked, the toilet is clean and the flush is working. And when you can find the water sensor, that is working as well. Really good, especially considering this is towards the end of a 10-hour long journey. The train has 3 carriages of first class either towards the front or the back of the train, which then transitions into the dining car. As you can see, this was very busy on my service. It was nice to see so busy, but it meant that I skipped the currywurst order on today's journey. Continuing further down, we also get to the really comfortable standard class, laid out with similar seats but in a 2+2 layout. Again, plenty of space has been made for luggage. But here we can also spot one of the other main complaints with this train. The seats don't always align with the window. But honestly, I think this is a rather small thing, especially if it allows the train company to offer cheaper tickets. And I just have to mention how good these displays are again. They also show connections from the next train station in real time. And this handy map showing how far into the journey we are. And just like that, we are already approaching our only intermediate stop along the journey towards Berlin, Lutherstadt-Wittenberg. And as you might expect from the name, the city is known for its historical connection to Martin Luther and the Protestant Reformation. Because of the delay, our stop is very brief and we are soon on the way again. And now, all that's left is just to ride into the darkness, without a beautiful sunset, because of the very typical winter weather here in Germany. Most of the route towards Berlin is capable of speeds of up to 200 km per hour, so while we might not use the full potential of this train, it's still pretty fast. The last of the ICE4 trains was delivered last year in 2023, but Deutsche Bahn has already ordered a new generation of ICE trains. Due to the growing demand for train travel in Germany and the eventual need to replace the older generation of ICE 1 and ICE 2 trains, Deutsche Bahn has 90 new ICE 3 Neo sets on order, set to be continuously delivered over the coming years. And as the last light fades, we begin to slow down for the final kilometers into the major stations in Berlin. And I have to say, I don't get why people dislike these trains. They are comfortable, fast, and have all the modern amenities you'd expect, and offer plenty of seats, something often missing on the German rail network. Sure, they might not be just as comfortable as the older generation, but that does not mean it's not a great train. On the approach to Berlin Hauptbahnhof, our train passes non-stop through the underground station at Potsdamer Platz, and that's your sign to gather your belongings and get ready to disembark.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next stop, Berlin Central.
And just like that, here we are at Berlin Hauptbahnhof, 13 minutes behind schedule. I was traveling on a complicated ticket from Düsseldorf to Prague on this trip, but tickets in first class if booked in advance on the Deutsche Bahn website between Leipzig and Berlin start at 24 euros. Prices vary based on time of day and demand, so book as early as possible for the best deal. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you don't want to miss a future one. I try to upload a new video like this every Sunday. You can also follow me over on Twitter at IntercitySimon. I usually post live from my travels over there, so it's a great place to get a sneak peek at what videos might be coming to the channel in the future.
578 Ankunft 16:55 Uhr. Heute circa 25 Minuten später. Grund dafür ist eine Verspätung aus vorheriger Fahrt.
Thanks for watching.